Today I'm sharing 3 major new studies from 2025 that point to meaningful habit changes that can make a real difference to how we age. One reveals a surprisingly simple daily habit that may help calm our response to stress. Another shows how a very small tweak in the way we move can deliver gains in both strength and endurance. And the third, one of the largest studies ever published, gives us a clear signal on what really matters in the diet for living longer, healthier lives. All 3 are practical, low-cost changes that most of us can make and are backed by science. So this first study really captured me because it points to something I've personally noticed can reduce my levels of anxiety. And it was published earlier this year in the Journal of Applied Physiology. And the researchers asked, does how much water you usually drink affect how your body responds to stress? 32 healthy adults were split into 2 groups. One who drank a lower amount of water, around 1.3 litres a day, the other who drank a higher amount of water, around 4.4 litres a day. After a week on their regular drinking habits, they went through a standardised stress test involving public speaking, yikes, and mental arithmetic. Both groups felt stressed and their heart rates went up, but the low fluid group had a much bigger cortisol spike, cortisol being the main stress hormone. In the less hydrated group, cortisol rose by about 6.2 units compared with 4 units in the higher fluid group. So poorer hydration, measured by darker urine, tracked closely with bigger cortisol spikes. The findings suggest hydration may be one simple way to help the body cope better when we are under stress. So why does that matter for aging? Well, because while cortisol is useful in short bursts, when levels remain high, it accelerates aging, driving inflammation, breaking down collagen in skin, and contributing to muscle loss. It also affects the brain. Elevated cortisol is linked to shrinkage of the hippocampus, raising the risk of memory decline. Put simply, long-term high cortisol doesn't just make us feel stressed, it quietly undermines health and speeds up aging. And the reason I was so interested in it is that I've noticed on nights when I'm struggling to get to sleep, I feel wired and a bit anxious. If I drink a large glass of water, it does seem to calm me down enough to get back to sleep. So now I just try to hydrate earlier in the evening to avoid nighttime bathroom trips and help keep those stress levels down. And let's remember that staying hydrated has multiple proven benefits for healthy aging, including supporting kidney and heart health, keeping digestion regular, maintaining energy levels, and even reducing the risk of falls in older adults by preventing dizziness and confusion. And the general advice is to aim for around 2 litres a day, more if you're exercising or in hot weather. And for me, this means being more conscious about how much water I'm drinking throughout the day. I always have a glass or flask of water with me, but rather than just sipping it throughout the day, I'm now making sure that I start off on a good foot with drinking 2 larger glasses of water before having coffee and just consciously topping up my levels consistently throughout the day. Now, this second study adds a new layer to the advice we all know about daily walking. So researchers at the University of Chicago enrolled 102 adults, average age 79, all classed as frail or prefrail. And the participants joined structured walking programs in their retirement communities. And their cadence, the number of steps per minute, was measured with thigh-mounted devices. One group was encouraged to walk as fast as safely possible. The other walked at their usual steady pace. And the results were clear. Those who increased their rate of walking by about 14 steps per minute to roughly 100 steps a minute were much more likely to improve their endurance, shown through a 6-minute walk test, and that's a standard measure of functional capacity. So walking faster naturally raises heart rate and oxygen demand, giving a mild aerobic training effect. Over time, this improves endurance. So walking a little faster challenges the muscles, builds endurance, and makes our gait more efficient. Together, that extra push builds reserves so everyday walking feels easier and you can go further before fatigue sets in. And what about daily totals? Well, recent reviews suggest 4,000 steps a day is a minimum linked to lower mortality. Around 7,000 to 8,000 steps gives the biggest gains for longevity and cardiovascular health in midlife and older adults. And above 10,000 steps, those benefits do continue, but at a rate that begins to plateau. So the bottom line is that a daily walk at pace delivers multiple benefits for healthy aging. The final piece of research is a monster. In 2025, the journal Clinical Nutrition published an umbrella review, the gold standard of evidence summaries, analysing 33 meta-analyses, covering 38 outcomes and involving over 17 million participants. And the evidence was rated convincing that higher fibre intake lowers the risk of dying from cardiovascular disease, pancreatic cancer, and diverticular disease. It was highly suggestive for reducing all-cause mortality, heart disease, and even ovarian cancer. So why is fibre so important? It improves insulin sensitivity and helps us feel fuller for longer, helping with weight management. It reduces inflammation, a major driver of age-related disease, and it speeds transit through the gut, reducing the risk of colon cancer. And when I interviewed microbiologist Professor Alan Walker, he told me that in over 20 years of studying the gut microbiome, the only change he'd made to his own diet was to increase fibre.
The best answer to that, as I told you, the only thing I do differently since studying microbiota is eat more fibre. We know that when we consume fibre, most of that will basically escape digestion by our own body in the small intestine. So they pass into the colon where they become readily broken down and used by all of the microbes that live in there. So if we don't eat fibre, then these microbes essentially don't get fed.
He explained that diversity of the gut microbiome correlates with health, and without fibre, those microbes starve with potentially harmful consequences. So fibre isn't a hack, it's the everyday overlooked habit that keeps showing up in the longevity data. Guidelines in the UK recommend about 30 grams a day, but most adults manage only 18 to 20 grams. And while diet advice is often conflicting, the broad scientific consensus is clear: a varied, natural diet, adequate protein, and plenty of fibre support healthy aging. So those are 3 important studies that stood out to me this year. One, showing the power of fibre for a longer, healthier life. Another, suggesting water may help reduce stress when we're under pressure. And one demonstrating that walking a little faster can build endurance and independence. Now, I'd love to hear what you think, so let us know in the comments if any of these studies particularly resonates with you. And if this episode helped you, I hope you'll give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who might benefit. And subscribe or follow the podcast for more honest, evidence-based, healthy aging content. You'll find more information, including skincare reviews and other product reviews, on my website, honest.scot. And you can sign up there or using the link below to receive my free monthly newsletter so you don't miss out on any new content from me. And if you'd like even more from the Honest channel, our members page has bonus footage and exclusive insights, and the link to join is below. Until next time though, thank you for being here.